So did you know that you can't snore and dream at the same time?
Really?
Yeah, I had to Google it like 2-3 times because I didn't believe it. I was like, what? So, I mean...
That's weird.
I mean...
So what about people that like snore all the time? Like, do they dream?
I don't know.
I guess you gotta ask somebody.
Probably not. I mean, do you know anybody that just snores like
Pablo
all the time though?
Well, Zach stopped snoring as much as he used to.
Yeah, but
he doesn't snore that much. A buddy of ours, he doesn't snore that much.
Does he dream though?
I don't know.
Zach, do you dream?
Yeah, I don't know. Hey Zach, if you're watching this, do you dream, bro?
No, I mean, or we could ask Paulo, but he's not. He's asleep snoring right now, probably.
Yeah, we're recording late again.
Yeah, I think it's around the same time. Yeah, it's 11. It was 11 yesterday.
We're recording at 11 again?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So,
Russell's here. He's sleeping.
Yeah, he's like right here by our legs, passed out, using up 2 blankets.
Yeah.
So you see, I mean, for those that can't see this little piece of red blanket? The reason why it's not on my legs is because he's laying only on the tip of it.
Yeah, he's a
so
weirdo.
I can't pull it up. And then there's another blanket right across from him. But yeah. So I wonder what he's dreaming about.
I wonder what dogs dream about.
So that's
I love seeing them like whenever they're like running, they're like
their little legs.
Yeah. Russell's legs.
It's like they're running. I've only seen him do that like maybe twice.
I've seen him do it like about 4 times. And I love it every single time.
Apparently they do dream though, from what I like whenever I looked it up.
Do they dream about like running around, like being free or getting out the door?
About escaping.
Yeah, escaping out the door.
I'm sure Bailey does.
Yeah,
my sister's dog. She always like as soon as that door opens, she wants to run away.
Yeah,
acting like she don't have a home.
Yeah,
like it's like she gets fed, she gets loved, but she wants to run away.
Dogs are weird. I love them.
If they only knew.
Yeah. Well, I mean, welcome back to another episode of World of Cristal.
Yeah, welcome back.
My name's Tom,
and I'm Cristal, obviously.
Yeah, that's Cristal. It's her podcast. I'm just here to talk.
Here for fun.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just here for fun. I know you wanted to talk about dreams, but like, what do you want to talk about dreams about? Because like I remember a lot of my dreams. It's just something that I just do. I don't know. I never planned it. But I just remember a lot of my dreams. Like I woke up from a dream the other day that a friend of mine was teaching me a certain skill. And the crazy part is that he was teaching me something and it was very detailed and I remembered it. Like I woke up, but that's like normal for me. And you tell me that's not normal.
No, because he can. So usually you remember all your dreams, like
in detail.
Yeah, like from literally from I woke up, I looked to my left, and then there was this. I looked to my right, and that was it. Like he could literally, basically write a whole movie about your dreams. I've
had entire feature films like play out in front of me, and I'm just like
you'll dream for like weeks.
I have, and that I'll talk about that in a minute. But I've had dreams where like it's literally a feature film about like stunts and like all this stuff, and I'm just like watching it play out in front of me, which is really wild. And I wake up like mind blown.
So for those dreams, you're watching yourself do it, or
I'm watching it happen in front of me. I'm watching it happen in front of me.
So it's not you.
With those specifically, yeah.
So you're watching yourself.
Yeah, it's almost as if I'm in the movies, but I'm just a character that's just standing there watching it happen. With that.
So you watch yourself.
I'm not watching myself. I'm just there. It's like imagine you're playing a video game and you're just like third person, just looking at the action happening. So it's just you
doing it.
Yeah, it's like I said. Like if I'm at the movie theater, but I'm I'm a character.
Whenever you say movie theater, I'm assuming that you're watching yourself on the screen. No.
I'm just watching people do shit in front of me. Like it's
like
weird.
If you were playing Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, just like watching people, like watching it play out, but it's in front of me and it's real people. I've only had like 5 of those in my entire life that I can remember. I don't know. It's crazy.
And I feel like from the dreams that I can remember that you have told me, it's like a lot of like the world ending, or getting attacked, or you getting basically people trying to kill you.
Well, it's not always people trying to kill me. Those are just the ones that I talk about because they're crazy.
Or going to jail.
Yeah, that's one of my worst fears.
That's probably why you dream.
But yeah, it's really like, so what was it, like last night? Was it last night or the night before? I had a dream that I was living at my mom's house, and this guy came over and he was looking for me, and I was like, my brother had told me like, hey, this guy's looking for you, and in the dream in my head, I knew that he was looking for me to try and kill me. And so I had a gun on me, which I've done that before. I've held, I carry a weapon every once in a while. And so like I pulled it out, and like he tried to open fire on me, and it missed me, and I opened fire on him, and the bullet like went slow, but time was normal. And so like my brother was still standing there just like watching, and I'm just sitting there like, why is my brother standing there? And I'm like just like shooting a gun. Eventually I hit the guy like in the shoulder, he falls down. Yeah, see, look, Russell's dreaming right now.
Oh, I wish I could just grab the camera.
Yeah. Oh, little Russell.
His paws are twitching.
He's twitching. That's what I'm saying. Like, dogs dream. They definitely dream. But back to the dream. That happened, and a guy came up to me, and I was like, why are they looking for me? And he didn't say anything, and I was just like, why are they looking for me? Because I had a gun, and the guy pulled a gun. I ended up shooting him in the head, which is like wild. Like, I don't dream about that. I don't think about that in the daytime. Like, I don't ever think about that stuff, Mm-hmm. Like, I'm a gun owner, but I don't think about that. I don't ever think that I need to do that or I should do that or anything. Yeah. It might be like some crazy external circumstance that's like going on in my brain, or like subconscious circumstance. But I don't know. Stuff like that is so wild to me.
But you see, though, just the fact that you can remember that. Like me, the only reason why I remember this dream I had last night is because I literally texted Sam what I dreamt. If not, I probably would have forgot. Literally, all I dreamt was that I went over to her house. Mm-hmm. We drank, chilled, ate Whataburger, and went to sleep. And that was it. Yeah. And that's it. That's my dream. Like,
and
you
were
dreaming.
Whataburger.
I do too. And that's all you dream. Like, I mean, that's like, it's crazy. And I know I had other dreams, but I just can't remember. Like I said, like I just can't remember. Apparently, we dream like so many dreams all night, but you just remember like 1% of it or something.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to really think about dreams. Simply because like I've had some crazy ass dreams, but I've also had, like, growing up, I can remember that I had regular dreams, like me hanging out in the kitchen, or me, going to school, and taking a class and going home. Like I've had regular dreams. A lot of my dreams are super duper regular, and so every once in a while I get one of those crazy ones, and those are the ones that I'll talk to you about. The other ones I just wake up and I'm like, whoa, that was weird.
You know what dreams I do hate though? What? So whenever I was like working in retail, literally, so you've been working all day, stressful day, you get home, go to sleep, you dream that you went to work, and you wake up and you have to go to work. It's like, what the fuck?
I've had those.
It's like, why? Like, I just worked, and then I dreamt about work, and I have to go back to work. It's like the worst. Yeah. I hate those.
Have you ever woken up tired, like because of a dream?
I wake up tired every day. So I don't know if it's because of a dream or just because I'm tired.
I was saying that because I have woken up like exhausted because
from dreaming for like 3 years straight.
Not 3 years. The longest I've ever been in a dream is like 2 weeks, just because. Like in the dream, I fell asleep and I woke up and I was like terrified. So this was something where like we were watching Orange is the New Black. It was like the first season or something like that. And like for some reason I was just terrified of going to jail. And in this dream, like I woke up and I was going to jail. Like I was going to serve a sentence, and I got in and I was like, man, this is a fucking nightmare. Like, this is terrible. And I went to go eat lunch. I ended up back at my cell, and I was like, man, I need to work out, and I need to read a book. I don't remember what book I was reading, but I remember sitting there like reading a book. Like,
that's crazy.
It took forever. Like, I was just reading a fucking book for like hours, and then they came, they opened the door, they did all that, and like I woke up from that dream. And I was exhausted. Like I was just tired.
Tired of dreaming?
Yeah, I was just tired of dreaming or something. And like, it was just so wild to me. I don't know what to think of it, but I mean, if anybody listening like has anything to say about that, please like tell me, because that's so crazy to think that you can do that.
I don't know if I know anybody else that I can dream like in detail just like that.
I know somebody, and I won't say his name because I don't know if he's okay with me sharing this, but he was telling me that his grandma had passed away, and he had never really had time to like spend with her. And he was somebody who like practiced lucid dreaming, which is like a wild concept. And I actually tried it. Like whenever he told me about it, I tried it a little bit, and it only to me worked for about 30-40 seconds, like max, like at its peak. But if you're not familiar with what lucid dreaming is, it's whenever you can control your dreams. So think about like Inception.
It's whenever you know you're dreaming and you can
control it. Because some people, like, you can know that you're dreaming.
But I think that's part of it too, no?
Yeah, whenever you figure out it's a dream, most people don't even like. They can't really do like crazy shit.
Yeah.
So unless you fall asleep going into it, knowing that you're going to have a dream, which is like a hard thing to do. It took a while for me to actually be able to do it, but then you can actually like fly and things like that. Like I've flown in my dreams before. Like I flew around the fucking world. I went to the moon. Like that shit was fucking crazy to me.
That's crazy because to me it's like whenever I do find out that I'm dreaming, the first thing I think about it's not, oh, let me try and fly. Like I don't think about that. I'm just like, like for example, let's say I'm shopping at a store, and at a mall, and then I figure out, oh, I'm dreaming. What am I do? I'm just gonna steal clothes. Like I'm not thinking about I'm gonna like fly through the walls.
No, fuck that. I wanna do whatever whatever's not possible in real life.
So that's the thing. I wish I would think that way. Or I don't know.
You can do it. There's ways of doing it. The way that my buddy was telling me about was basically you stay up till you're like passing
exhausted.
out. Yeah, you're exhausted, like you're passing out. Not like work yourself out or anything like that. Like literally like stay up till like 5 a.m. Force yourself to be awake. And there's a brief moment where and this comes into play like sleep paralysis, which is like a whole other thing. We'll talk about that, but whenever sleep paralysis starts kicking in, you start thinking about the fact that you know you're going to go to sleep and you are going to dream, and you just tell yourself that, and you do that. And I thought it was bogus. I thought it was crazy. I thought it was stupid. But then I did it, a couple times, and it worked. And I was like, whoa! And it was like a couple times, like I would feel miserable. I felt like sleep paralysis is whenever you are, I guess, whenever you're in between sleep and awake, and your subconscious is slowly taking over. Like your sleep brain is taking over your awake brain.
Like your body's asleep, but your mind's still awake.
Yeah. And it feels terrible.
Yeah,
like
I know. I hate it.
It feels terrible, but once you know what it is, then it's not scary.
No, it is still.
Yeah, to some people. But to me, it's like, if I want it to happen, I'll let it happen. Mm-hmm. And then I'll fall into a dream. But if it's happening, I know the triggers to like snap out of it. Like wiggle a pinky toe, wiggle a pinky.
I still can't do that.
Like you snap out of it, and then you wake up. But yeah, like I'll be honest, it was crazy. But that's still not the
same thing as like, because I asked you if you knew anybody else that could remember the dreams. You're like, yeah, I have a friend.
Yeah. Damn it! I'm set to say his fucking name. I gotta bleep this out.
Yeah, but lucid dreaming is not the same as remembering your dreams.
So he does remember his dream. So what I was getting at was that he spent time with his grandma, and he got to know his grandma, like in his dreams. Like it obviously was a figment of his imagination, not his imagination, but it was a construct of his mind, and it was all built up in his head. But whenever he woke up, he was like, I spent a lot of time with my grandma. He's like, I got to know her. We did this, we did that. And I was like, whoa, dude, like what? Like that's the thing that got me interested in it. And
into lucid dreaming.
Yeah. And I really do want to do it again, but it was just so crazy to me, like to think that that's possible.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid of hallucinogens just because I know that my mind would make a bunch of stuff up that would scare me. Mm-hmm. But it's not rational fears. I'm not afraid of rational fears. I'm not afraid of, trying new things. I'm not afraid of trying new food. I'm not afraid of like somebody punching me in the face. I'm afraid of like irrational things like riding a roller coaster, like anxiety driven stuff like that, like stuff that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just lucid dreaming is nuts, and I believe it. Like I've it's happened to me. Like I've done it before, and I flew to the moon.
I mean, if knowing that you're dreaming is lucid dreaming, then I've done it before too. But sleep paralysis, though, that's like the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Like, it's scary.
It was for me.
It's super scary, like seeing things in the dark coming towards you. You can't move. You can't. It's like you in your head, you're like screaming for help, yelling or screaming.
I've never had the screaming part.
In my head, I'd be like trying to scream for like my mom usually, because I think it's only happened whenever I lived with my parents.
Yeah.
But it's like, in my head, I'm like just yelling, and then I don't know, it's just scary. And then also it sucks that whenever you when you do snap out of it, and then you go back to sleep right away because you're so tired. Because that's how you even start sleep paralysis, right? Yeah. So you're so tired, and then you'll fall back into it right away, and that's just, you can. And so that's what happened to me.
You can.
And so in order for me to just like not fall into it again, I just have to force myself to stay up, watch something, or like basically just like stay up and then fall back asleep. Sometimes I'd just be tired to fall back asleep because of it.
It is scary. It is scary at first. I think the first time it ever happened to me, because I remember it too, just because I don't know, for some reason I remember it. I had just gotten out of like high school, and I was really tired, and I ended up going home, laid down on my bed, and I ended up falling asleep, which I never fall asleep like this, but I ended up like falling asleep on my belly, with my arms on my face, like kind of like crossed, and I kind of like woke up for a second, and then I fell into it, and I couldn't move, and I was like terrified. Like I was like, oh shit, why can't I move? And I started like falling into a dream, and it was a bad dream. I don't necessarily remember the dream so much, but I just remember something bad was happening, and I woke up, and I was like, oh man, like what the fuck? And then slowly I started getting, like within like seconds, I started falling back into sleep paralysis. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I can't breathe, I can't move, this and that. And then, like, I went back into a dream. Then I got out of the dream, and then I was like, oh my god, why am I going back into it? And like, it happened like 3 or 4 times. And then finally, I wiggled my pinky because I remembered Kill Bill. Like in the movie Kill Bill, like the lady's like paralyzed, and she's like, wiggle your pinky, like move your pinky. And she moves her pinky toe, and like she starts moving her whole body, and that's all that was going through my mind was like, move something, fuck. Yeah. Like I was like freaking out, and I did, and then boom, I snapped out of it.
That's crazy, because that's what I read on Reddit. They're like, you have to move this, you have to move that, but like I just can't. And even though after you told me that like so many times, it's so. You gotta really focus.
Like you can't be afraid. I'm not afraid of sleep paralysis anymore.
Yeah,
if it starts happening, I'm just like, fuck it, and I'll like go into the dream. But it's not like if I say
like
fuck
it'll last forever if I try to just like let it happen.
No, once you embrace it, and like once you're not afraid of it,
praying for help, trying to get out of it.
No, it's not even real. It's a construct of your mind. Like it's something that your mind's, because you're falling in between sleep and reality.
And what's crazy is like when did you know it was sleep paralysis? Because I think.
I don't know. It wasn't the first time, that's for sure.
Because I don't. Yeah, same here. But like, I don't remember who I brought it up. I was talking with somebody, and I think I probably brought it up, and they were like, yeah. And then either they told me, or I read it somewhere, or I googled it, something, and I was like freaked out. But then one time I brought it up to my mom, and she told me she's experienced the same thing, and she didn't know what it was. And I was like, Mom, like that's a thing. Like people, like that happens.
I don't think it's demons. I don't think it's any of that stuff.
I mean, because it always feels like a bad spirit to me, like something bad.
Yeah, I mean, because you can't breathe, you can't move. Like, of course, that's scary.
No. But that's one thing. Being scared because you're gonna die. No. But I always feel there's something bad in the room, which is why I'm saying, like, when I see something coming toward, like, it looks scary. It's like a monster, like a ghost. I don't know.
So one of the things too, like once I started like practicing it, I guess, like quote unquote, I started like to, I guess, pay attention to the feelings and everything that's going on in the moment. And I noticed that there was like this overwhelming, like trembling sound coming from far away. And then whenever I'm going right into the dream, it's like a...
You know what's funny? It's crazy to me because...
And then I'm there.
That's the only time I've ever... Like, you're probably the only person that's ever told me that, or I've ever like read from it. Because, like, I have this... it
happens every time.
I follow, like, I'm on a subreddit or whatever about lucid dreaming, and people are like, oh, because these people are trying to lucid dream. Like, they're actually trying. So they're like, oh, what you should do is, like, look at both hands and count, make sure you have all your fingers. And then that's how you find out if you're dreaming or not. Because
a lot of people say check the time,
too. And people are like, I think I read something somewhere, and they were like, my left hand was normal, but my right hand was like a big old fucking like crab hand or something. And I'm just like, well, like, but it's just, that's the thing though, like, if you can remember to do that, and that's barely like the beginning. Like, you have to just get there basically to check yourself, and that's hard. But it's cool though. Have you ever like slept walk?
I have. Yeah. I don't know if I ever told you about it.
I think I remember a little bit, but how did you find out?
So I only found out till after I slept walk. Like,
well, of course.
That's the thing is, I was really young. I think it was like maybe like 13 or something like that. There was a friend of mine that lived like down the road and around the block. and I was like sleeping at his house one night. Like I think we were up all night, like popping fireworks and stuff like that. I was really cold. I think it was like around New Year's Eve or something like that. And we were sitting there outside popping fireworks till like 1 or 2. Go inside. It was really cold. His mom like brought me some blankets, and they had like this garage that they turned into a room, and I slept in there, and my buddy slept in like his room, which was through the living room across the hallway. They had this mirror in the hallway, like right whenever you walk into it, and apparently I woke up, I walked over to that mirror, and I stood in front of it for like a while, and I walked into his mom's room where his mom and his dad were sleeping, and I walked
Spooky.
around. I walked around their bed. Like this is what they told me.
Like paranormal activity.
I know, it was fucking weird, and it scared the shit out of me whenever they told me. But apparently, I walked around their bed like 1 or 2 times. Then I went back into the hallway, and I went to my buddy's room, and I kind of like stood there for a second, and my friend's dad had told his wife, my friend's mom, to not wake me up because it can give me a heart attack or something, which I think is fake. I don't think that's real.
We should Google it.
Yeah, I don't think that's real. I think I'll just wake up and be confused. But anyways, she told him, he told her to not wake me up because she was like watching me, and I apparently just walked back to where I was sleeping and laid down and fell back to sleep, and I woke up none the wiser. Like I just woke up.
Did
and
they tell you
like,
the next day?
They told me the next day. Like they were like, "Hey Tommy, like you okay? Is everything all right?" Like and I'm like, "What? Why?" Like I was tired. Like what? And she told me that story, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like a little 13-year-old me, I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Is that the only time they've ever told you that?
No, apparently my sisters and brothers have seen me like sleepwalk here and there. Like I you know when you're a kid and you like fall asleep in the living room and you wake up in your room. Mm-hmm. Well, I think a couple times I fell asleep in my room knowing I went to sleep in my room, and I woke up in the living room. So it was just a couple times, but this was only when I was a kid. Yeah. I haven't had this happen since. I mean, like, me and you have been together like 9 years. So, like, have I ever done it?
Well, I mean, I didn't start sleeping in the same room with you until we got married. Yeah. But no. But then I was thinking, what if that was part of that one time that you were like, whenever the whole car thing being in a different spot?
I fucking hope not. I hope not. I hope I didn't sleep drive. Man.
Maybe you just walked. I don't know.
They don't know what the hell that was about. I think we should save that story for a later time.
We'll save that for another time.
Because that was wild. That was really wild. It still confuses me to this day. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Okay.
But yeah, like what? Have you ever sleepwalked?
No, not that I know of. No one's told me anything.
I mean, you didn't growing up. You didn't really sleep at people's houses though. Like you didn't.
But you don't have to sleep at people's houses to know that.
I mean, your parents would probably not.
I have a sister. I have cousins. I used to sleep over at my cousins all the time too. Yeah. But no, not that I know of. Have
you ever seen anybody sleepwalking?
I haven't. Sleepwalk, but I have seen like sleep talk. And like my cousin from across the street, like I don't know if it was her or sister or both of them. Literally like. We were asleep. I was asleep in one bed. She was asleep in the other bed. And she literally, like, got up and looked at me and started talking to me.
That shit's weird.
It was scary, actually. Because I was asleep and I was like, huh? And she was like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? And then she, like, laid back down. And I'm like, what? Like, it was, like, scary. Like, kind of like a fucking, I don't know, zombie or something, like just waking up from the dead. Yeah. And then she went back to sleep, and I told her about it the next day, and she's like, huh? But then from there on, I got used to, like, she talks in her sleep. Yeah. And so do you sometimes.
I mumble. All right.
No, you. But I have I have heard you literally like talk in your sleep.
Words, like full words, or like
whoa. Like full words, but I can't think of any right now though, because it's been a while. You have said words. You have mumbled, and you do moan in your sleep. That's how I know when you're asleep. Yeah. Like, let's say we're watching a movie or something, or just laying there, and as soon as I heard like a that's when I know that you're literally either falling asleep or you're asleep.
Woken me up before.
You wake yourself up. Yeah. And I noticed that your sister does that too, which is funny, you know.
It's in the family, I guess.
Well, I think it's just you and Lee, but but I mean that's so to me that's how I know. That's why I don't want to wake you up and be like, hey, are you still awake? Yeah. Until I hear that.
That happened. That happened the other day whenever I was in Spain with Zach. Cause like they said they got us double beds, but it was really like 2 small beds like right next to each other. Mm-hmm. And so like obviously we slept right next to each other. And Zach was like, bro, like, what was up with last night? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I thought you were jacking off, dog. Like he's like I heard you like and then I saw you like moving and I was like, oh dude. So that's that whenever I'm super exhausted, I'll like
not exhausted, just whenever you fall asleep.
Whenever I'm exhausted.
You don't know, you don't hear yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often because I'll wake up because of it.
Happens every single night.
Sure.
That's how I know.
I won't believe it till I see it. So record it next time.
Okay.
Anyways, I shake my leg like whenever I'm sleeping. And the shaking plus the moaning, he thought I was jacking off, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
No, because the first time that was me too. Yeah. I'm like, "What is this boy doing next to me?" You know. And that's how I figured out that's how I like. It's because that's how you fall asleep.
Yeah. I was gonna tell you earlier, but the sleep talking thing happened to me one time, and it was like kind of an argument, and I was like. Girl woke up. It was an ex-girlfriend of mine. She had woken up. She sat up, and she's like, what are you doing, or something like that. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, what? And she said something back, and I was just like, what are you saying? Like, I was like, what are you saying? Like, why are you talking? Like, what's going on? Because the lights were off. And
why are you fighting with me?
Yeah. Like, I was like, why are you angry? And she just like kept saying like mumbles, and it wasn't coherent words. So I'm like, what is going on? And then like I shook her. She woke up and she's like, huh? And I was like, you all right? Like, I was like, you don't know what to do in that situation. It's kind of weird.
I mean, that's what you did that one time when we were watching McKenna, and I guess you were kind of drunk, but we went to sleep. You went to bed. I went to bed.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got up and he was being mean to me in his sleep. Yeah. Like, you were like, I think I asked you a question and you were like, why? Like, what do you want to know? What does it matter? Go to sleep. I was just like, excuse me? But then at the same time, in my head, I'm like, because he never talks to me like that ever. So I just assumed that he was like sleep talking or something. Or sleep, drunk,
I don't
angry talking. I don't know.
No,
but I was sad.
We had a good night that night.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I was sad. I got sad.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you told me the next day.
I'm like, why is he talking to me like that?
You told me the next day, and I was like, what? Why? And I was sick, too.
I know. You were probably... So you were drinking plus like on ZZ Quill or something. No, or night...
I was on like nighttime medicine. Yeah, like NyQuil.
But yeah, and I was
Maybe
just like...
I just got too tipsy or something.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I was just like, what'd I do? Like, why are you mad at me?
Yeah.
But I feel like it was like going on for a little while. Like it wasn't just like a couple seconds. Like,
I mean, you should have just pushed me and woke me up or something.
I was just like, what?
Did you even look at me? Did you put a light on my face?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Because that's not like me to like be mad at you or angry. I think I got up
to pee or something, and that's whenever like I came back and you were like talking to me. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that's probably. But yeah, that was like weird.
So it's happened within the past year.
Do you think dreams have meanings?
I don't.
Some of them, all of them, halfway.
I don't think necessarily like they have meaning. I think dreams like prepare you for stuff.
You know what?
I think that they like like for weird random shit that your mind can't comprehend. I think they prepare you.
I was gonna say, now that I think about it, I don't think it's meanings, but because whenever you dream, it's stuff that you've seen, stuff that you've thought about, but it's just happening.
Nope.
Yes.
Not me.
Like what?
Fucking flying to the moon?
Yeah, you probably thought about it. So
I never thought about flying to the moon, but as soon as I was there, I was like, I'm on the fucking moon.
But that's lucid dreaming. Like that's you control it. But I'm saying just you dreaming of something. It's like
it's always regular stuff.
Whatever.
Well,
no,
I've never seen a fucking missile fly through the sky and land in my fucking home neighborhood, but I've dreamt it, so it's not things I've seen before.
That is things you've seen in movies. It's never things that don't exist. That's what I'm saying.
I haven't seen a missile fly into my mom's like neighborhood.
You've seen it on the movies, and so you just put it together in your head.
Neighborhood.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah.
But I don't like for example, like dreaming of snakes. Like it means that you have some fake people in your life.
That's stupid. Man.
Dreaming about my teeth falling. Oh my god, I used to dream that all the time. It means like a couple things supposedly, like money, somebody dying, or you're scared, just a bunch of stuff. But the dream itself is so creepy to me.
Could imagine.
Like I've had different and it seems so real. Like it'll be like maybe me just biting into something and then like a tooth falling out and then me like maybe touching it. And then, like, accidentally pulling another tooth out and another one. Or to where I just feel like with my tongue, like a tooth, like. So then, I don't know. It's just weird and creepy and scary. But I've had those so many times. So many times.
I've never had that. I might have, but I just don't remember.
No, good.
I'm surprised though because I got fucked up teeth. Like I had a lot.
That's probably why my teeth don't fall in real life, so they fall in my dreams.
I've never been to the dentist. The first time going to the dentist was like this year, and it was just for a cleanup. It wasn't even for like cavities or anything.
I'm like, girl, but my teeth look good.
I mean, the front of my teeth look good. The back is just fucking fake and fucked up.
I mean, I guess I just never went to a dentist because I didn't need to. I mean, it's one of the I don't know. You. Like, it's not like, I have pain on my teeth, so I need to go or anything like that.
I've had tons of pain. The worst pain I've ever felt in my life is fucking teeth
I think since I've met you, you've had like 30 teeth pulled out.
Terrible pain. I've broken my ankle, and teeth pain is worse than breaking an ankle. I will say that.
Yeah, I've never broken any bones.
Good. I
I'm
hope
scared.
you don't. It's fucking,
or just surgery in general. Like,
I didn't even think it was broken. That's how little it hurt compared to like teeth pain. I didn't even know my ankle was shattered. My growth plate was broken. My tibia and fibia were separated 4 millimeters. Yeah. Like it was huge. It was fat. Like my ankle became like a what's that thing called? I was gonna say a cantaloupe, but it wasn't as big as a cantaloupe. It was as big as a grapefruit for sure.
Ew.
It was fat. Like it was bad. And then it turns out like the doctor like tried to twist it. And like all that, man, it was just a big mess. Like it was bad. It was from skateboarding.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, that's why I started tech decking.
Oh my god, you're in tech decks again.
I was tech decking before that, but that's how I got really good. Is because I had so much time in a chair, so much time in bed. Like I was just like tech decking my life away.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Have you ever? I think everybody has though. Like
the feeling of
falling in your sleep.
Yeah.
Well. Two different things. Dreaming about falling. Okay, I'll say dreaming about falling in your sleep or actually falling.
I've actually
because I've fallen too.
Yeah, it's terrible. It sucks.
But I was a kid. I was living in some. I was like
too.
probably 4 years old because whenever I lived in apartments with my parents, like a long time ago, I was like 4 years old, and I don't know how, but I know I felt. But the good thing is that I was sleeping on my parents' bed, and then they had my little bed, like on the floor. Yeah. So I fell on that.
Oh, okay. Lucky you.
I fell on basically I fell from a bed to another bed.
Yeah. No, whenever I was growing up, there was 5 of us, so obviously it was a 3-bedroom home, so my sisters had to share one room. Mm-hmm. Me and my brother had to share one room. So we would fight. My brother and I would fight for like top bunk in a bunk bed. And I fell asleep on the top of the bunk. I think it was like one of my first times. Mm-hmm. And I rolled over. I don't know why there wasn't a barrier.
There
wasn't a barrier.
There usually is. At least a little like this much. Unless you were just like ignored it and went over it.
This was in the mid. How am I gonna go over it?
I don't know.
This was like the mid '90s. The safety regulations weren't there. I ended up like feeling like I was falling, and I woke up as I was falling, and I just went. I hit the floor, and I was like. I started crying. I was a little kid. I think I was like 9 or 10.
That's not a little kid.
No, I was. That's a little kid. That's not a big kid. 9 or 10 is not a big kid. Can a 9 or 10-year-old drive? Can a 9 or 10-year-old like balance a checkbook? That's not a.
I can't even balance a checkbook.
It's easy.
Actually. Or like whenever like you're laying on your bed and then you wake up and then you're kick out of bed and you're just like, whoa, like it feels like you're about to fall off of your bed, but you're like way in the middle. Yeah, same here. I wonder if that's like
probably a kid thing.
No, because I think I whenever I was still living with my parents, I'm sure I had a couple of those, but I mean maybe now that I'm sleeping with you, it's different. I don't know. And to this day, I don't think I've had sleep paralysis since we've been sleeping together.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, I guess we can Google it, but what's the fun in that? Why not just make up our own truth? I mean,
it could be a real fact. I mean, I know some facts,
I just remember, like, opening my eyes, and I was looking at my ceiling, and then I smacked the floor. Because at the time, this is one of the reasons why I remember it, is because we had one of those, it was a Crayola fan. It was like a Crayola green, yellow, red, blue. Yeah, the fan was like blue. Those. Oh, that motherfucker burnt up because we would throw socks at it.
We used to throw the stuffed animals at it and see it fly off.
That's even worse.
I guess, yeah.
So like laundry days, whenever my mom would wash all of our clothes. And like 5 kids, she'd wash all our clothes and give us a basket and tell us to put it up. My brother and me would we'd turn the fan off and we'd put like all the socks on top of it and then like put some on the blades and like turn the fan on full blast and just like see it like fly off and then we just keep throwing shit on top. Yeah.
Like trying to dodge him. Yeah. That's what we did with the stuffed animals. I think it's like some little stuffed bears and stuff.
Yeah. It was fun though.
Well, I'm tired and I want to go dream.
I want to go dream.
I don't know. I want to go to sleep. Tomorrow we're gonna go on our Grand Canyon trip with his family.
Week long. Actually, I'm a little excited now.
Me too, because we kind of didn't have a plan, but then like his dad texted us this morning with like pictures of the resort and everything. I'm like, whoa, I'm
not a resort kind of person, but I saw the pictures and I was like,
oh, we have a pool. We wanted to go to a pool this whole forever.
And now we're gonna go to a pool where it's like
they have
cold.
An indoor. No, but they have an indoor pool, an outdoor pool, a fireplace. They have a bowling alley in the hotel.
I'm like, lit at a bowling alley at the Grand Canyon.
Hell yeah! So
we're gonna be there for like 3 days too.
So I'm excited now. Like I'm even more excited now because at the beginning I wasn't sure what was happening.
I mean, but ultimately though, like we would have made fun out of it no matter what.
Yeah,
I wasn't worried about having fun. I was just worried about being with family members that I've never. Yeah, it stresses me out.
It stresses me out whenever you don't know what's happening.
Having to either decide or have someone else make decisions bothers me.
Yeah. I mean, depends. I do kind of prefer somebody else making the plans, so I don't have to worry about it. But the fact that I didn't know the plans until literally like a day before we're leaving.
Yeah. When they're like, "Hey, you're driving too."
Because I didn't know like now I know what to pack.
We're driving 3 kids.
Pack a bathing suit. Yeah. I mean, at first I was like, I don't know what we're doing.
I definitely gotta pack a bathing suit. Gotta pack my thong. I haven't pulled that thing out for a year now. About to be looking good.
I've never seen it. I don't know. What do you mean you haven't pulled it up in a year?
Yeah, about to see it.
You haven't pulled it out in a year. Where was I last year? Shit.
You weren't looking. That's why.
You weren't showing me. Yeah. Shit. All right.
But yeah, thank you for listening. If you want to check out past episodes, check out World of Cristal on iTunes, anywhere podcasts are really.
Spotify,
YouTube, Facebook.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening, watching. Like he said, listen to our past podcast, and I have a couple of vlogs on there too on my YouTube channel. I guess we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.